Hey there, yogis. So today I wanted to show you the difference between cobra and upward facing dog. A lot of people think that these poses are the same pose. However, they're quite different and should be used in different ways and for different people and body types. So if you are more of a beginner or if you have a lot of tightness in your back and in your spine, I would highly recommend sticking with Cobra Pose because you're going to get so much more of a stretch, eventually leading to a safer upward facing dog. So if you start doing upward facing dog too soon before your spine is flexible enough, you're probably it's gonna take a lot longer to get that flexibility in your spine rather than if you would have just stuck with Cobra Pose for a little bit longer. All right, so let's get into the poses. So for the first pose, let's get into Cobra Pose or Bhujangasana. So for this one, start on the belly, have your toes pointing straight back and your toenails pushing into the mat to keep the legs active. The heels could actually turn out just a tiny bit and this will broaden the sacrum, protecting the low back as well as the tailbone. And the sciatic, if you have any sciatic issues, that'll help that as well. All right, now lengthen your tailbone. So meaning try not to let the booty pop out. Try to lengthen your tailbone or bring your pelvis into neutral. It'll feel like your tailbone's pointing towards the heels. All right, so now you want your hands beside your chest, so not under the shoulders. Try to bring your hands back beside more of the chest. And then on your inhale, you can start to draw the chest forward and up and bring the shoulders back. So maybe you stay a little bit lower. That's fine. Just try not to let the shoulders come up. Relax the shoulders away from the ears and keep the elbows in at the sides. Okay, you can push up a little bit more as far as you can go comfortably, but we're not straightening the arms. In Cobra Pose, the elbows are bent. Okay, so drawing the shoulders back. Tuck the chin slightly and reach through the back of the crown of the head to keep the neck long. So if you hold that pose long enough, you'll start to feel that in the triceps and you're only going as far as you can comfortably, so where you're feeling sensation, but never pain, strain, or pulling. All right, so how do you get into the proper alignment for Cobra if you're moving through, say, a vinyasa? So let me show you that. All right, so here you'll start in plank. Now, the key is to not just lower straight down here, because notice where my hands are? They're under the shoulders, okay? So that's not how we want for Cobra. As I just told you that you want the hands beside the chest. So how do we get them there? So from plank, push forward so the shoulders are way past the wrist. Then you can bring the knees down or not and lower down. Now your hand is in line with the chest and you're in the right alignment for Cobra Pose. Okay, so now upward facing dog. Same thing, you'll start on the belly. This pose is a little bit different. Actually, it's a lot different. It might look the same to the untrained eye or to the beginner student, but let's get into the differences of Cobra and upward facing dog. All right, so for upward facing dog, you only want the tops of the feet touching the mat and the hands. So the legs and the pelvis, the hips, none of that is touching the mat. All right, so let me demonstrate. So again, your hands will be in about the same spot. Uncurl the toes, lift the chest forward and up. Okay, so as you can see, only the tops of my feet are touching. And then you're drawing the chest forward and up, lengthening the spine. Kind of lengthen your tailbone down as much as you can. It's a little bit more challenging in this pose. Just make sure you're not feeling any compression in the low back. Okay, shoulders are away from the ears, so I'm not going like this. You're pushing down into the hands, reaching through the back of the crown of the head. Now, the key here is if you take a video of yourself and if your upper back is kind of, move my hair so you can see. If your upper back is kind of rounded like this, then that means that you're not getting that stretch in the spine, okay? So if you look a little bit straight anywhere along the spine, you're gonna get a lot more benefit from here where you can really pull the spine in towards the front of the body, helping you to get a more flexible spine, okay? Getting a more deep arch. All right, so how do we get into upward facing dog? Okay, so usually it's again from plank. It's part of a vinyasa. It's a little bit more advanced form. So instead of lowering all the way down to the belly, you only lower to chaturanga. Okay, so chaturanga is actually a pose. It's not a It's not something that you move through. The vinyasa is the action. Chaturanga is the pose. Okay, so from here, push forward, lower to 90 degrees, then you push through to upward facing dog. So many people skip this and then they go here, and they do some weird little thing like this, okay? Well, that's not gonna build the strength that you need in your shoulders, your arms, your triceps for the more advanced poses. So make sure you're practicing your chaturanga, and there will be a chaturanga video coming shortly as well. All right, so in upward facing dog, just make sure to keep pushing your toenails down. Draw the belly button in so that draw your belly button forward so it's in between the hands. Keep the legs kind of active. So you don't have to squeeze your booty or anything, but by pushing into the toenails, that'll keep the legs nice and active. Push through the back of the crown of the head, push into the hands, tuck the chin slightly. And then to come out of the pose, you can curl the toes under, engage the abs, and slowly push up and back into your downward facing dog. All right, yogis, thank you so much for practicing with me. I hope that this really helped you distinguish the difference between Cobra Pose and upward facing dog. Please let me know in the comments if there's any other poses that you are really struggling with, and I'd be happy to make more videos on those. Have a great day. Namaste.